ready to play?
Welcome. Hey, Patrick.
Hey,
How's it going, man?
it's going super great.
I'm ready for our first session.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. I'm so excited.
You said that last week.
Yeah, I'm excited this week too.
You're excited this week too?
Yeah.
You for real this time?
For real.
All right, you know what? I got something exciting planned for you.
What we got today, Pat?
All right, man. We're going to kick it off with some basic push-ups. Just 30 push-ups, like one.
All right, got it. 1, 2, 3.
Come
4,
on, man.
5.
That is no push-up.
What am I doing wrong?
What? You got to go all the way
All the
down.
way down?
Yes, sir.
All right, all the way down. I'm laying on the ground.
Come on. I said push up, not lay down.
Welcome to episode 42 of the Catch Up Podcast with me, Brian Sumo Sumardi, the number one podcast to feed your curiosity. And check it out. Today's guest, welcome back, Patrick Ocheni.
Yes, glad to be here, Brian. Glad to be here, man. I'm fired up.
As always, he'll correct your push-up form and everything. Yo, you finally broke out.
Broke out.
You broke out of Gold's Gym.
Yes, sir.
You can say
Yes,
that.
sir. It was out of necessity.
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity, yes. I had to do it. It was time to grow.
I love it. I want to hear this story. Like, I don't even know where do you start. Like, last time I talked to you, it was like, I have 2 kids. I don't know if I could just jump ship, and I find that so admiring.
Uh-huh.
So, like, what happened between last podcast, what I did with you, and then now?
Okay. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, actually, last time we spoke,
Yeah.
my second kid was still on his way.
Right.
All right, so he wasn't born yet. So it's been about 16 months
Yeah.
since we did that podcast.
Right.
All right. So what happened? That's a very good question. What happened was my mindset changed. Okay, my mindset changed, and then my vision changed. Right. So
okay.
basically, it came down to this. Very simple. I said to myself, as my kids were getting older, right, and I needed more things, like not more things, but access to better things, right?
Okay.
Better education, okay? So I realized that, to give them better education, a better environment requires more.
Side note of education, are they in, like, private school?
No, they're not in private school,
Okay.
right? I mean, he's still very young. He's in pre-K or something like that, whatever. He's only 4 years old, right?
Oh, Alexander's.
Yeah, Alexander's 4 years old.
Okay.
Now he's 4 years old,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
But even with that, over time, expenses related to, schooling him,
Yeah.
all right, increases over time.
Right.
And if you want to put him in better programs,
Yeah.
the expenses go up,
Right.
And as a parent, for parents who will listen out there, you always want the best for your kids,
Yeah.
right? So you don't want to have to choose a school because it is quote-unquote cheaper.
Oh.
You want to choose it based on the quality and say, okay, this school, I want my kid to be in it because
Yeah.
I think it's the best for him.
Okay.
All right, not because, oh my gosh, it's going to save us some money.
Yeah.
All right, and those were some things I had to be doing when I was over at the other commercial gym, Goals, right?
Right.
So after a while, I was like, the income was not matching up with my dream for
Right.
my kids, right?
Right.
So in order for me to be able to support the kind of dreams I want for them, I had to change because my income was essentially capped, right?
Right.
So then I also said to myself, well, if not now, when?
Right.
So if I never pursue this venture of doing this myself or
Yeah.
venture on my own, when would I ever do it?
Exactly.
All right. And then also I looked at, okay, do I at the end of my life want to say, I wish I had tried?
Yeah.
All right. So I looked at the worst case scenario. What's going to happen if I tried and quote unquote failed? Well,
Yeah.
worst case scenario is I can still go back and train at another gym,
Right.
right? Because I have this skill set,
Yeah.
right? So another thing is, I looked at, okay, if I ever want to control my own destiny,
Yeah.
I basically have to be writing the checks.
Right.
Right? I have to be writing the checks.
Yeah.
Otherwise, somebody else will be dictating how I behave.
Right.
Which is something I really, really hate. Okay?
Okay.
So I have a business builder mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
You're an
And-
engineer. Former engineer.
Yeah, former engineer. Former engineer. So I have a business builder mindset. I want to control my own destiny.
Right.
So that was some of the things that led me to make that decision that I've got to do it. And also, here's the thing. In order for you to be able to achieve greatness in this country, achieve massive success, you have to own a business, right?
Yeah.
Like your laws are written to support business owners, right?
Right.
As an employee, you don't get any tax benefits.
Right.
Nothing whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
So these were all motivating factors. That was like, okay, if I don't make this move now, the deck will be stacked against me.
Right.
Right? So, and then it just all culminated also into just being led by people that I thought were not as smart as me. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think one thing that I realized, I don't know if I asked before, was like who are the 5 close people that you associate with and how they affect you.
right.
And I feel like you kind of reanalyzed that back then and kind of refigured that, or you figured it out on your own.
Well, I mean, the people that I most associate with were never really people I was working with, right?
Oh,
I
okay.
looked at people outside my industry.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, I mean,
That's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, because the thing is sometimes not everybody has access to the kind of people you need to have as mentors, right?
Right, right.
So if I want Tony Robbins as my mentor,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pay a lot of money. But I can
Yeah.
read Tony Robbins' book
Yeah.
and get closer to him that way, right?
Right.
So there were a lot of people I was following online that
Mm-hmm.
I was associated with, not necessarily in person, but catching your mindset, right?
Yeah.
You talk about Gary Vaynerchuk, that's just one example,
Right.
right? You talk about Ty Lopez, that's another example. These people are not in the fitness industry,
Right.
but you look at what they're doing.
Their
you're
strategies.
Like, exactly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those are people in my mind that I associate myself with.
Well, they're all marketers.
Exactly, the all
Yeah.
marketers, exactly. So that's another thing. That's a great point.
Uh-huh.
In order for you to be successful in this field,
Yeah.
you have to think not just as a personal trainer, you have to
You
think
think-
as a marketer.
Or the client as well.
Or
Yeah,
it's-
because marketers think as their clients.
yeah, exactly,
That's how
exactly.
you
To
sell.
be able to to be able to achieve, the most success,
Right.
as a trainer. So you have to put your trainer's hat on, your marketer's hat on, right? If you're trying to do something big,
Right.
all right. And those are basically what happened. I was like, well, I'm looking at this thing. Like, okay, things should not happen the way I want it to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So guess what? I got to roll out.
Okay.
You know what I mean, that's basically what it came down to.
If you want to break down numbers, how long were you at Gold's?
I was there 9 years, actually.
9 years.
It was there 9 years. Hard to believe. That's all I did full time for 9 years.
But then it wasn't all for waste because you've developed a lot of skills from Gold's. That was your foundation.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of developing the skills, it's not something that taught you, right? It's
Yeah.
something, again,
Experience or
not necessarily experience, like you being self-motivated, right? So like on day one, I came in, they just threw me to the wolves.
Yeah.
All right?
Right.
And
I
then
remember
had
that.
to- exactly. Just throw it to the wolves and then make it happen,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have some level of self-motivation, right?
Right.
And then you have to have a vision of where you want to go.
yes.
So, okay. So when you have that, that drives you to seek out the information you need to succeed.
Yeah.
So when I came in, my motivation was, look, I got to prove, remember from the last podcast, I got to prove people wrong. I can actually make money as a personal trainer.
Right.
This is not some like, what they used to call it, some like part-time thing you're doing over there. It's not a real job.
It's not a side gig.
It's a side gig, right. So I had to prove to people
Yeah.
that I can make a full-time income as a personal trainer. Because remember, my degree is in electrical engineering. People
Yeah.
are like, how come you're not an engineer?
Right.
Why are you wasting time as a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
I had to prove to my wife to be that I'll be able to take care of her,
Right.
If we were to get married, I had to prove to her that I'm going to move out of my parents' basement
Yeah.
into an apartment. We're not going to live there, right? So all
Exactly.
those are motivating factors. So when you come in with that kind of mindset and attitude,
Yeah.
well, guess what? And you're thrown to the wolves, you're going to have to swim, right?
Right.
You have to find a way to not drown and swim.
Survive.
And survive, right? So one of the things you learn real quickly is prospecting, okay? You've got to find the client.
Yeah.
All right? So even though a commercial setting is one whereby members come in, they get membership, and then you have the opportunity to get what? Clients from those, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they'll always give you clients, right?
Yeah.
So you have to figure out ways to talk to members to get them to be your clients.
Can
So
I
this is
pick
the-
your brain on that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
What's your strategy or system on how you prospect?
Okay, it's very simple. Well, you learn over time that it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart.
Right.
And I see people make a lot of mistakes. So, for example, you have to know ahead of time the kind of client that's most likely going to become a client.
Ideal client.
Ideal client, right?
Okay.
So that's also be more likely to be like, okay, this thing can help me out,
Yeah.
right? So I was telling somebody, a former trainer recently about that. I just joined the gym actually.
Okay.
Joined before I left. All right.
Okay.
And this is something they don't teach you. Okay.
Right.
This is like top secret information I'm about to share with you right now.
Double secret
I'm about to
classified.
have- So basically, people come in, and one thing they used to do, and a lot of gyms do this, a lot of
Yeah.
commercial gyms do this, and a lot of trainers do this.
What's that?
So members come in, right,
Uh-huh.
and they basically tackle them,
Right.
and say, oh, do you want to,
Body
do you
fat
want
analysis.
Yeah, body fat analysis, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And they talk to every person that comes in.
Right.
Well, guess what? That is working hard, but not working smart.
Yeah.
You're not being strategic.
They're playing a numbers game.
Yes. So, of course, when you talk to 100 people, 1 or 2 say yes, right?
Right.
So here's my approach. So let's say 100 people come in, right?
Yeah.
They'll talk to all the men, all the women, whatever.
Yeah.
My approach is, I already know who's most likely is going to buy.
Right.
100 people come in, I don't even talk to the men.
Yeah.
All right? Not because I don't think they don't need help, because they're less likely to buy personal training.
Facts.
Men in general don't ask for help.
Ego.
So, exactly. So, I know because I was a man, right?
Yeah.
So, the last time I checked. So, so why, if 100 people coming in, why am I going to waste my time trying to talk to them?
Yeah.
I'm not saying never talk to men.
Right.
You have to be strategic. If I have X amount of time
Yeah.
to talk to people to prospect, be strategic. So, already,
Right.
let's say to keep the math simple.
Be efficient with your time.
Exactly. So to keep the math simple, let's say 100 people come in, right?
Yeah.
50 men.
Yeah.
50 women. I don't talk to men. I focus on the women.
Right.
Right. Now, of the 50 women, you still have to break it down.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I happen to know somebody that's more likely to need help is maybe somebody that needs to lose weight.
Right.
So 50 women come in. Why am I
Yeah.
going to talk to that skinny woman?
Right.
All right. Now, I'm not saying she's not trying to get stronger. She's not
Right.
trying to get fitter. Right.
Yeah.
She might need personal training, but she's less likely. She can psychologically justify why she should not get personal training.
Right.
Right. So now I narrow it down. Let's say there are 25 of those. Now I have 25 women
Yeah.
who need to lose weight.
Right.
Right. So now I'm aiming for a percentage of the 25%,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to get the 100.
Right.
So when I talk to 25, I have a higher closing ratio.
Facts.
Because guess what? They're like, well, I've been doing myself for a while. I've not been able to lose the amount of what I want,
Yeah.
right? He might be able to help me.
Yeah.
And they can justify getting a personal trainer.
Right.
That's how you work smart. That's an example,
Right.
right? As opposed to working hard.
Okay.
That's why my closing ratio was always high. People, they never understood how come Patrick, every time he saw at least 3 people, I'll close at least 33%.
Yeah.
I mean, like consistently over time.
Yeah.
Because I'm very smart about the kind of people I approach.
Right.
And also we can talk about, that's going deep, but
Yeah.
talk about how you now talk to this person to get them to see the value. Because it's one thing to be in front of somebody who's more likely to get personal training.
Yeah.
It's another thing to help them understand the value they'll be getting from a personal trainer. That's a
Right.
whole other conversation, right?
So, in other words, you've kind of solidified your branding.
Exactly.
You branded yourself as a weight loss specialist because that's ideally who you want to work with, and that's what you've been proven to have results.
Plus, if you look at the numbers, right?
Uh-huh.
Most people, in terms of like opportunity,
Yeah.
you have a good opportunity with people that want to lose weight. Because
Right.
there are more people that are overweight in this country,
Facts.
right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm an engineer. I deal with numbers. I look at the data. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If I want to focus my time, my energy, I want to build my business,
Yeah.
okay? I could say, oh, I love athletes and they're great and everything. They'll pay me a
Right.
lot of money. But guess what? How many people are athletes?
Right.
Very few percentage
Very
are
few,
athletes, right?
Yeah.
So
1% of like people
Exactly.
who reach NBA professional level.
Exactly. So now I'm fighting for that 1%,
Yeah.
with other trainers,
Yeah.
right? And that's very specialized anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas I have 98% of the people over here who are overweight, right?
Yeah.
I
Who
think
just
I
want to
can-
lose.
who just want to lose weight and
10,
that's still
20
good.
pounds.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So that's an example of working smart as opposed to working hard. So when you
Ah.
think that way, guess what? Now you're more likely to get somebody to sit in front of you and you quote unquote close them
Okay.
than the other way around.
And I want to reference this to preface how you figured that out.
Right.
You had a financial goal. You understood your personal finances in order for like, okay, I need to hit this amount of money monthly, which equals to my annual salary. And in order for me to do so, I need a high closing percentage. So therefore, I cannot choose my passion, whether it is athletes, and go for the greater amount of probability, which is the overweight clientele in the fitness world. Does that make sense? Yeah. Did I
Yeah,
explain that right?
that's some of it. Yes,
Okay.
yes. But initially, all right, going back to how do you prospect,
Yeah.
right? It started with the self-motivation, having that vision of what drove me in the beginning, right?
Right.
What drove me led me to learn prospecting.
Right.
So on day one, I didn't come in knowing this information,
Yeah.
right? Trial by error. I'm like, everybody around me is doing this same approach, but they're not making any money,
Right.
right? Well, something's got to change because
Yeah.
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
Well, something got to change, and that's where I started researching and figuring out, oh, wait a minute. If I narrow it down and be more selective about whom I want to work with,
Yeah.
I have a better chance at getting a client.
Right.
Right? So that came over time.
Yeah.
All right. So, but that was driven by my desire to need to make that money.
Right. So you understood your personal finance. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Exactly. So that came later. So
Yeah.
now, once I mastered that process, then I'm like, okay, what is the compensation plan they're offering me?
Okay.
All right, at the gym. What's the compensation plan? Now, how many clients do I need to get?
Yeah.
Right, to be able to hit the financial goal that I'm trying to establish,
I
right?
see.
But that's not going to matter if you cannot prospect, right?
Right.
So my number one goal is get my first client.
Yeah. Facts. Okay.
Learn how to get my first client, right?
I understand
So
that.
if there's somebody listening to you right now, right?
Yeah.
Really, you can apply this principle to any industry, right? But let's
Yeah.
talk about specifically the fitness personal training industry, right?
Right.
If you're someone listening right now, you're a personal trainer
Yeah.
and you're trying to like make money in this industry,
Yeah.
right? You got to realize that you got to have the right desire.
Right.
All right, the right motivation. And second, you got to realize that you do need to learn prospecting, right?
Right.
Otherwise, nothing else matters, right?
Okay. Well, all right. So that's the perspective coming from a commercial gym. You pinpoint, you targeted because you have leverage off of the brand already, whatever commercial gym it is. It has a big following.
Right.
If they spend all the ad money to bring people in.
Correct.
So now you understand your prospecting. Now I want to talk about the independent contracting side.
Okay.
So now that you're an independent contractor, I see that you do like private or not public.
One-on-one.
No,
What do you-
Facebook groups.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
That's
I do-
how you bring people now. How you bring traffic to you as an individual personal trainer versus a corporate gym trainer.
Right. That's just one mode of attracting client, right?
Okay.
So that is not necessarily how I do it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is. I mean, again, if you step back a little bit, because
Mm-hmm.
off air we're talking about, how somebody will know if they're ready to go become an independent personal trainer.
Right.
Okay. Because you're gonna go online and everybody's
Yeah.
telling you don't work for a commercial gym, for whatever
Yeah.
reason. But I will actually tell somebody who's never been a personal trainer before.
Yeah,
all
get your
right?
feet wet.
Get your feet wet. Get in there, right?
Yeah.
Because if you cannot make money
Right.
as a personal trainer in a commercial gym, you're not. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but you're less likely to succeed online.
Right.
Right, because you've not learned the skill set. You've not learned how to narrow in
Right.
who your ideal avatar is going to be. Right.
Right.
So once you learn that, now how you transition to becoming an independent personal trainer is understanding the skill set that you need to make that happen.
Okay.
All right. So for example, I've been out of Gold's Gym now for about 3 months. Right.
Yeah.
But I've been able to build my clientele to pretty much close to what I had back then.
Yeah.
Now they're about 16 clients, right?
Right.
So in a relatively short amount of time, how did I do that?
Right.
Well, you do it organically first. All right.
Right.
Facebook is gonna be very hard to do it on social media because those people don't really know you yet, right?
Yeah.
So what do? There's a prospecting process that I follow,
Okay.
right, that allow me to organically contact people I already know
Yeah.
and bring them in.
Right.
All right. So everybody now that I train, people I already knew.
Yeah.
So, but there's a process to that.
Yeah.
All right. So, like, for example, I know you, Brian. You're on
Yeah.
my cell phone.
Right.
All right. Well, if I want to get you as a client, I'm not just going to call you and say, Brian, I just started training independent. Come over, be my client.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way,
Right.
right? So there's also a process there that I had to learn
Yeah.
on how to connect to you, how
Right.
to reach you organically and bring you in. That has been my primary mode of getting clients in here
So word of
right
mouth.
now. Not word of mouth, because word of mouth means that you train a client and they tell the people.
Right.
Right? These are people that I already knew, that were on my cell phone.
Right.
Right? Some of them were previous clients
Yeah.
that had not trained with me before.
Yeah.
So how do you reactivate those kind of clients and be like, and bring them in?
You follow up on leads. You follow through. follow up and follow through.
Yeah, you
on
follow
previous
up,
clients.
but you still have to get them to come in.
Right.
So, for example, I'll give you an example. So today, literally today, I had somebody I used to know at Gold's Gym.
Okay.
Right. I had him on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Right. This is somebody I just met over there at Gold's Gym.
Right.
All right. And then I was like, okay, he could be a potential client.
Right.
Right. So in the way I spoke to him, it was via text exclusively.
Okay.
I got him to leave his house, and this is somebody I had not seen in months. Okay. Leave his house, come into my gym.
Right.
Right. And close him.
Right.
Right. So there's a way you have that conversation.
Right.
That happens.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like a topic for a different podcast, right?
No, that's exactly what this should be.
You can go deep.
I follow it. I understand. It makes sense to me.
All right, it's exactly. So
This is the step-by-step, Body by Patrick way to get clients.
If you want to make money, again, but even before that, right? So what I'm trying to get people, what I'm trying to highlight conceptually is that in order for you to become a successful personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
Because see, right now, I am pretty confident that no matter what gym I work at, I can make money, right? Because I've mastered the skills.
Yeah.
Skills that are not taught to you, right? At that gym.
Yeah.
Because trust and believe, if you go there right now,
Or in school.
or in school, exactly. If you go there right now, the way they're doing things is not the way it's going to make you money.
Right.
It's not. You're going
It
to
makes
struggle.
them money.
Yeah,
The
it makes them
business
money,
money.
but doesn't even maximize the money. For example, it wasn't uncommon for me, production-wise, right, out of one client, to close a deal of $5,000.
Right.
It wasn't uncommon for me. In a given month, when their budget is like $30,000, for me to do $30,000 by myself.
Right.
Okay, well, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Well, clearly, it's not because they understand how it works.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If, as a company, you set a goal of $30,000, that says that you don't expect your trainers to make each 30,000, right? Right. Because you say, okay, they can only do a max of 30,000.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm a trainer that does 30,000.
Right.
Right. Clearly, I'm doing something different that they're not teaching.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those things are not taught in commercial gyms because they don't understand the way it works.
Right.
Right. So those are skill set that if somebody's trying to transition from working in a commercial gym to independent, they need to master, they need to know.
Right.
But unfortunately, unless you have a Patrick over there, you're not going to learn it, right? So, but going back to you want to know how you can get somebody
from a cold lead.
From
or
a
not
cold
even a
lead.
cold lead, just cold.
Right. Well, again, that's a different process, right?
Right.
Because remember, I just said that a lot of my clients I have right now are people I already knew, right? So now these are like warm-ish leads, right? Again, working smart, not working hard.
Right. Once
So
you
if
build a foundation, now how do you grow on top of that?
Exactly, right? So how do I let's call this person Alex, right? How do I contact Alex, right? And say, hey, Alex, and get him from there to in the gym where now he's paying me money for me to train him in less than 24 hours.
Okay, that's a fast turnover.
That's pretty fast,
around,
right? That was pretty fast. Literally, this is what happened.
Okay.
24 hours ago, I was in text message with him, right? 24 hours later, he's giving me money.
Yeah.
And I haven't spoken to him in 3+ months.
Right.
How's that happen, right? So the first thing is you have to connect with them, right?
Right.
So you have to connect with them and connect with their pain point.
Okay.
All right, the pain point. So, and then allow them to just walk themselves into, right, that they need your help.
Right.
All right.
You make yourself the expert in a certain field.
Well, they already know I'm an expert, right?
Yeah.
But still, like for example,
You emphasize it though.
not
Because,
necessarily. No, it's not the way. And
No,
that's why I
but
said
it's a trust. It's a building of trust. That's what I'm trying to get at. You built the trust. Like you can trust in me to make sure you lose that weight because you are in pain.
Right. You build
that's your pain point.
You have to connect with them and get them to trust you.
Right.
So after doing that now that they trust you, now getting them to realize that they need to come out of that environment to come see you. Right. That's a whole conversation about that.
see,
Right.
okay.
So it's not something, there's a script to it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I can just say it here and people will get it.
Right.
But conceptually, understand that the
Yeah.
way I talk to somebody who is a warm lead
Yeah.
is different from the way I talk to somebody who's a totally cold lead.
Right.
Right? Conceptually speaking.
Right.
But they all fall under the umbrella of prospecting.
Right.
Right? So you still have to understand how to strategically get people to come see you.
Right.
Right? As opposed to just trying to work hard and talk to everybody.
Well, I guess my question is, do you have a process or a system for cold leads? For someone you just met off the street? Because if someone new, yeah, you can kind of turn over in 24 hours.
The answer is yes,
Okay.
I do. Because there've been many opportunities. So a cold lead could come from anywhere, right?
Yeah, going to the grocery store,
So for example,
whatever.
let's use a Gold Gym, right? Because
Yeah.
I was there, right? So I've met people.
Well, that's kind of warm. That's warm to me. Say you were just walking in the grocery store and you just found someone that looked
Okay.
like one of your prospects.
Right. So
How would you approach that?
So very simple, right? So first things first is, they look like somebody
That you
that I want to talk to, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is I want to build rapport.
Okay.
Okay, so I see you looking at this
Fruit.
item. Yeah, this
Yeah.
fruit right here. Okay, so this fruit. So how do you like it? What do you like about this apple? Right?
Yeah.
Do you come here often? Right. So man, you buying a lot of apples. I mean, are you trying to have an apple party? Whenever you can get a cold person to laugh, you got them.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you must be having an apple party. Oh my goodness.
Making
so now,
apple juice?
Now check this out. This is very smart. This is like high level stuff right here.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, again, strategically,
Yeah.
I need to lower the barrier of entry.
Right.
All right. So what does that mean? That means that if this person in this store lives in Virginia,
Yeah.
but my gym is in Rockville, Maryland,
Right.
Guess what? They're less likely, unless they work in the area, to become a client of mine. Because most people are not going to drive 1 hour
No.
to come see you.
Very
So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have to figure out, make sure this person lives in the area.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're having a Harper party. Well, do you live right here in Rockville or something?
Yeah.
No, in Virginia. Oh, wow. Man, you drove a long way. Fantastic. You come here all the time? Oh, just once in a while. Man, well, guess what? You know what?
You have
I'm
a
glad
nice day.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm glad I ran into you. You have such positive energy. I need to run and get this other thing right here, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you break out of that. So
I like
you
it.
always have to be strategic thinking. Okay, does this person live close to me? Because if they do, guess what? Now they're
more
not
likely to
it's
come
not-
back.
Exactly. It's not a point of
Or-
objection. Because you have to think ahead.
Yeah.
So even if they came in and saw me, right,
Yeah.
and they're sitting down, I'm like, I'm ready to close the deal. Like, oh man, Patrick, but I live in Virginia. How am I gonna get here in one? I can't do it. So it's not gonna work.
Right.
Or less likely to work. If you take someone who's really, really, really motivated
Yeah.
to drive 1 hour to come see me for personal training 3 times a week, for example, right?
Let's go macro. So like you look for location.
Right.
What else do you look for in terms of prospecting for a cold client?
Okay. So I try to figure out what their mindset's at, right? What the
Okay.
goal is, right? So
Yeah.
they tell me. So if I figure out that, okay, they live close by, okay, good, right? Then I'm like, okay, well, you buying all these apples. Are you on an apple diet or something?
Yeah.
Right? So now I want to start a conversation related to fitness.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So proximity, relate,
Right,
body
right.
type.
So what? Yeah, exactly. So, this apple, an apple diet. I mean, no, apple diet. Man, you just love apples, right? Okay, fantastic. What do you eat all the time? Are you trying to what are you trying to do? Do you work out too, and with this diet or something? No, I don't work out. Oh, really? You don't work out? Oh my God, why not? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm also looking for, do they have any kind of injuries?
Okay.
I'm breaking them down. Do I have any kind of injury? Because guess what?
Objections.
Right, because I already know ahead of time the kind of client I want to work with.
Yeah.
People who are basically injury free.
Yeah.
All right, because I remember you like that rehab stuff.
Corrective exercise.
Corrective.
That's me.
I
Yeah.
don't, right?
Okay.
Because that also lends itself to my kind of training.
Right.
So, for example, man, you love apples, and do you also work out too?
Yeah.
Or do you go to the gym around here?
Yeah.
No, I haven't worked out in a while because I had a surgery, back
Like,
surgery.
oh, I
the
do
other day.
CrossFit. I kind of get hurt. My shoulder kind of aches a lot of time.
This just happened the other day. This is a good example. Like
Okay.
somebody I was trying to prospect on my cell phone, one of my warm leads,
Yeah.
or potential leads, right?
Okay.
I asked them, so what are you trying to achieve these days? Oh, I have back pains. I'm trying to recover from back surgery. That person is not mine. And let it go. So I just saved myself a bunch of headache. Because
Okay.
guess what?
Pass
If
it along to me.
Exactly. Guess what? If they come in, even if they come in here,
Yeah.
they came in here, right? and I did a workout.
Yeah.
I can't give them the kind of workouts they need to experience for them to be like, man, I want to come back and do more of that.
I
You
see.
sure? So it's not going to work. So now my closing ratio is down.
So let me ask you this. It's one thing that I've kind of realized myself. People buy things for 3 reasons. And that either as the salesperson, they either come for time efficiency. So you save them on time.
Right.
You make them happy. Or now I blanked on the last one. It's time, happiness, or results.
Results.
Yeah.
Right. People define results differently, right?
True.
So you'll be shocked. People who need to lose weight, but
Yeah.
they're not. Their angle is not to lose weight.
It's happiness.
It's happy.
You
Feel
provide
good.
happiness.
Right. Feel good. Feel
Yeah.
good. Right. So going back to that cold lead at his store.
Yeah.
Okay. So far I've determined she lives in Rockville. Good. I've determined that she's on an apple diet. Right. Then I'd be like, well, I mean, if you eat on this diet, what are you trying to do? What's your goal really?
Right.
Oh, I want to lose weight. Oh, okay. Now she's been having the conversation in her head the whole time.
Right.
Now all I gotta do is just jump in that conversation. Really? Has that been helping you?
Yeah.
Oh no, it hasn't been helping. Why do you keep doing it? All right. Wow. So what has been your struggle? Right. Why did you even start this?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that conversation of building rapport and listening to them, you're building trust.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when I'm like, well, do you know that it's a better way to achieve the result you're looking for with not having to go on an apple diet?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you know what, though? We cannot talk right now because we're at the store. Obviously, it's very busy.
Right.
You're busy. You're shopping. I have to get back up to my kids, right? Is there a way? Do you mind if I,
Set up an appointment.
not set an appointment.
Oh, you don't close then? Okay.
Not right there. Right? Not
Or
right
you don't
there.
set a
Not right
sales pitch there.
No,
Not there.
no. Because
yeah.
remember, my goal right now is to get them from that environment
From
to
cold
my,
lead to hot lead.
to my environment. So
Okay.
first, I'm warming them up.
Yeah.
They're laughing now.
Right.
So we're having a conversation. Now they've built trust.
Yeah.
Right. So now, the way you say this to people is very important, right? So
Okay.
if I say to her after that whole conversation, okay, is there? Do you know there's a better way for you to be able to lose those 15 pounds without having to be on an apple diet all day long?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. What is it? Well, you know what though? It will take me forever to explain it right here, right?
Right.
We're gonna have to get together another time, right? Now, here's very key, it's very important. I could say to her, give me your number,
Yeah.
right? Or I could say to her, how may I reach you? What's the difference? Both same things, right?
Right.
But if I say, give me your number, nobody wants to give anybody their number. It's more personal.
Right.
Give me your number. But how may I reach you? Oh, okay, yeah. Here's my number. All right. So the way you ask those questions is very, very,
Business psychology.
the psychology of sales, right?
Okay.
Very, very important. So these are all elements. People
Right.
say, well, Patrick, how do you close a high deal of clients? Well, these are the psychological triggers
Yeah.
that I use in my presentation to
Right.
get people to be like, so of their own free will,
Right.
not feel like slimy. Give me
Right.
the information that
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to lead them to water,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah, so I'll say this again because I haven't seen you in at least a year. You are a very, very good communicator.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Because that you just from what you just told me in whatever time since this started, you can communicate a very vivid story
Right.
and make it have a point.
Right.
There's a lot of people who can tell long stories, but they're long-winded and they're over-exaggerated, and
right.
it's useless. There's no point to it.
Useless if I use that story.
So I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
But you know how to grab intel from someone by either reading their body language or you know how to say the right thing in the right way to
Right.
convey trust.
Right, exactly, and that's the key.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head, Brian. Is at the end of the day, you're telling stories, okay? But you're using those stories to connect with them, the
Right.
pain point,
Yes.
right? And then they're like, oh my gosh, this guy knows me so well.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he could probably fix my problem before I even have the problem.
Exactly, and that's how you warm them up, right? And
okay.
then, now my goal now is to get them to my gym, right?
Yeah.
But I can't just give them everything right there because it will be what's called information overwhelm.
Right.
Right? So
Yeah.
now they got a piece of me, right? They're like, this is somebody I can trust. Now I have to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
All right? In steps.
Yeah.
Right? In steps. So now I get, I say, how may I reach you to give this information? Because now they're like, yeah, I want to know more. Right? Be like, okay, I will reach out to you. How may I reach you? I got to go right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then you connect with them again. But now when they're in your mobile phone, now
Right.
they're now a warm lead, right?
Yeah.
Right? You got them from a cold lead to a warm lead. Now the process for talking to them as a warm lead is the same as before. All right, because now when I reach out to them, I'm like, okay, I have that information for you. Oh yeah, Patrick from the store. Yeah, apple dye. Yes. Okay. Apple dye, yes. Okay, now I take them from, now that I know they live in Rockville, right? Because I did that whole research while talking to them.
Right.
Right. Now it's a matter of me getting them now from their couch at home in Rockville to my gym in Rockville. Right. Have a whole different set of conversations.
Okay.
All right. So that's why I say it's deep. We could go really deep on this, right?
For sure.
This is like a whole seminar, right? A whole seminar on this, right?
We could.
So that's something we could probably set up, right? But what people just, I mean, I say all that to say that if you want to become a successful trainer, right, you have to master the art of prospecting.
Right.
Right. Now,
you have to understand sales. Sales and business, how businesses work.
Right.
Because as an independent trainer or as a trainer in general, you are your independent business.
Right.
Because regardless if you work for a corporate gym or by yourself, you have to understand the processes of how to get a client, not just how to get someone to lift a certain amount of weight or lose X amount of weight.
And that's
those are totally different.
And that's
business
the
structures.
mistake a lot of people make when become personal training.
I completely
There are so
agree.
many people that become personal trainers and they say, "I don't like to talk to people." You're in the wrong business, right? They think, don't the mindset. Now there are gyms that exist whereby you just go as a trainer and they give you the clients, right? But then guess what? They pay you like pittance, like they pay, like hourly rates, and that's it, right? So you don't get to really make great money. So those exist, right? But if you have ambitions of making huge money, you have to know how to prospect. Now, you mentioned sales. Prospecting is a subset of sales, right? Sales is the big overarching umbrella, right? And prospecting is underneath it, right? So if you want to exceed the sales, well, you have to know how to prospect. Now you get prospect, you got that person in. Now you have to know how to convert that person into a client. That's another step, right? And then you have to know how to retain this person, right? I had one of the highest retention rate in the company. Well, actually, it was like, before I left, they told me it was like 60%. Retention rate, right? Which is huge.
That's solid.
There were only 3 other people ahead of me in the entire company. In the entire company when I was a Gold Gym before I left. Only 3 other people. All right? When you talk about the number of trainers that existed there, like there were at least over 1,000 trainers.
For sure.
Yeah.
More than that.
Easily, right? And I was number 3 in retention at 60%. Think about how powerful that is. Now, there's a whole process to maintaining retention to in your business, because guess what, if you get in new clients but they keep leaving, right, you just be like spinning your wheels getting new clients, right? It doesn't work. I have clients that have been with me 3, 4, 5 years, right? So when you have the price of retention down, well, guess what, you don't have to worry so much about looking for a new client. Now, not everybody's going to stay with you forever, but
for sure,
if you can keep 60% of them, that's pretty good, right?
That's a good percentage.
That's pretty good. All right. And then, of course, the next step is learning how to then get referrals from these people, right? That's the whole process.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. Okay. And then repeating the process all over again. Right. All right. So those are the process that I personally have developed over the years that I use to build the business I have today, right? Okay. That will continue to grow. The same process. If I were to be in this gym or go to other gym, I just follow the same process and build the client base. So until somebody is comfortable with that kind of process, they're going to find it very, very difficult to make money as a personal trainer. Right. You're going to, because even if you're able to get leads in, we can't convert them to clients, you're wasting money, right? And then even if you convert them and you can keep them past a month, you just be spending more money over and over again, right? It's be very hard to grow.
There's 2 processes. I definitely want to make that clear. It's the prospecting business strategy, and then it's the actual your training content.
Exactly. So that's part of the retention, right? So the quality of your service has to be high too. And you as a brand have to be high, right? So like your brand has to be such that people come in and be like, wow, I want to be associated with Patrick all the time, because him as a person and him as a brand is something that's positive that I want to be around, right? So which affects your retention. Right. Okay. So you take all those things, which I did, and just take them to an independent gym, so it's no shocking that I'm able to build a business. Right.
You're your own machine.
Yeah, exactly. Now it comes down to how much you want to work. Right. Which is another thing, right? You got to be willing to work hard. Yeah. Okay. So which is I'm never afraid to work hard. I love working hard, right? So, plus you gotta want to be number one, okay?
It's that alpha personality, just like, I gotta be number one.
Strategic alpha.
Well, all right. How about we get into the actual your product in terms of your training? Like, how
Right.
do you structure your product, and how do you separate yourself from other trainers?
Okay. So, like I said, first it comes down to the kind of client I attract, right? That I
Right.
want.
Weight
okay?
loss.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say that's which is, what I'm focusing right now, right? So the experience I give them, right, in the workout session has to be one whereby they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot get this anywhere else. And the
Right.
level of attention I give them,
Yeah.
right, then the totality of the experience they have. So understanding that a client, when they come into a session, is not just wanting to do push-ups and sit-ups. Now,
Right.
there are clients that just want to come in and just train.
Yeah.
Right? But again, you have to be able to have what's called emotional intelligence
Yes.
and connect with your client emotionally, right? Empathy, right?
Yeah.
Empathy with them, connect with them, right? So once that happens, if you can get a client and you connect with them on that level, you've
Yeah.
got a client for life for the most part, right? Because guess what?
Pretty
Now you
true.
become the therapist, right? Which at the end of the day
That's
is
for life.
at the end of the day, that's what you really become as a personal trainer, right?
Big
become
facts.
you become
Big
a therapist.
facts.
They talk to you, they open up to you, they trust you. At that point, they have completely trusted you, right?
Yeah.
So that is how I interact with my clients. Now, how I interact with each person is different.
Right.
Right? So that's where that emotional intelligence comes in.
Uh-huh.
Some clients that come and know that they don't want to talk. They appreciate the go, 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 go.
Yeah.
I don't want any rest.
Yeah.
There's some clients, I can tell, they appreciate the fact that we talk a little bit
Yeah.
and work hard.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit and work hard, right?
Yeah.
So, but the program overall has to be suitable for their end goal.
Right.
Right? They have to feel like, oh my gosh, if I live here, nowhere else can I duplicate the same level of experience,
Yeah.
right, that I'm having with Patrick.
Okay.
All right, and that's how I go by design the experience of training my clients. If that makes sense. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Okay.
more of you have your own internal programs of treating them a certain way and making them feel good in order for them to come back. But your strategy is almost like calories in, calories out. So when you have a specific diet plan, you ensure that they're within a caloric limit within their BMR, and then once you get there, you kind of cater their energy exertion rate. No?
No. That is what most trainers do.
That's what it sounds like from what you just told
Right,
me.
right, okay, that's what it
I got
sounds
yeah.
like. Look, but I never mentioned about calories.
Right.
Right. So again, going back to the psychology, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of my clients, we almost never talk about calories. Right?
Okay.
Almost never talk about calories, right? Again, it's about the experience
Right.
that they're having.
Right.
People don't buy personal training for the most part,
Right.
because they need to teach them calories in, calories out.
Right.
Calories in, calories out.
Right.
They can do that by themselves.
Right.
They're coming because of how they're gonna feel after they leave interacting with Patrick.
The happiness.
Exactly. That's what I focus on.
Okay.
Okay. So everything else takes care of itself.
So how do
Now-
you give them results?
Very good. So I give them guidelines,
Uh-huh.
right? Give them guidelines. So if a person wants to lose weight, well, first, obviously, the workout, consistency in the workout,
Right.
right? And then I give them eating strategies,
Right.
customized to each person,
Right.
Because at the end of the day, again, it comes down to the kind of clients you want to attract.
Right.
The kind of clients I attract
Yeah.
are like me in the sense that I hate counting calories. So
Right.
none of my clients want to count calories,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right.
instead, big picture,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so instead of processed pasta, right, eat brown rice.
Okay.
Okay, it's how to make better eating choices.
Okay.
And people can live with that long term
Right.
versus, okay, I have my scale and I'm counting every single calorie that I eat, right?
Right.
For my clientele,
Right.
they don't like that.
Right.
They like the strategic approach,
Right.
Because they want something that's sustainable over time,
Right.
Counting calories for most people is not sustainable over time,
Right.
Because if it were, everybody would be counting calories and the whole U.S. would be in shape, right?
True.
Which is not the case, right?
Very true.
And you can find a counting calorie calculator online,
Yeah.
right? But people are not counting calories,
Right.
So again, it's about meeting people at a place whereby they're like, okay, if I use this approach, it's something I can do for the rest of my life, right? And helping them understand this is a lifelong journey,
Right.
right? So that's how they achieve result over time.
Right. So you give them a guideline.
Yeah, strategies, yes.
Diet strategy
Right.
that they can follow,
Right.
which you kind of internally have. I'm pretty sure as an engineer, you know about numbers. With those guidelines, you can't really exceed a certain number of calories, and then you make them work harder than they expend. That's exactly what you're doing.
Theoretically, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But how I get them there is totally different.
Right. No, I'm not saying how you get them. I'm telling you what you do.
Okay. Yeah. So, but see, that's a good point though.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, imagine, like, I never sit down with a prospect and say, okay,
Right.
we're going to come up with a plan,
Yeah.
and this is the number of calories you're going to eat,
Right.
and so on and so forth. That the conversation is never there. Right.
Right.
But that is the end goal.
Right.
Ultimately, you do have to burn more
Yeah.
than you consume.
Right.
It's just that the approach I used to get them there is so different.
Yeah.
Right. Whereby they're not thinking, okay, how many calories? They're thinking, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to choose an apple as opposed to a bag of chips.
Right.
All right. So when you teach them those kind of habits, the calorie stock kind of takes care of itself.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, calories are not equal anyway. Right. A 100 calories bag of chips is not the same as a 110 calories apple. Right. The effect is different on the body.
But the calories are still the same. It's still true.
Okay. The whole
Yeah.
conversation about that.
Yeah, but that's just perspective. And the reason why I bring up these different perspectives is because I want to confirm that the strategies are just strategies, and the ultimate goal is the weight loss, and it's the same thing. Like, if you understand what is the true necessity,
Right.
whether when it comes to weight training and how to get someone to get to weight loss, is progressive overload. You learn
Right.
that through every
Right.
certified personal trainer
Right.
course.
Right.
And it's all about that foundation, but whatever strategy you take is just a different avenue of approach.
Right, it's a
of
different approach,
getting it.
right. Now,
Yeah.
going back to result though, okay? Again, sometimes as personal trainers, we get focused on that end weight loss goal.
Right.
But interestingly, what you find out is that really the clients are not necessarily, that's not necessarily what they want.
Right.
Okay, so like, for example, a client says, I want to lose 20 pounds,
Yeah.
right?
But why?
Right, but why, right? So they're not necessarily excited or really focused about the weight loss per se, even
Right.
though that's their goal,
Yeah.
right? They're more interested in feeling better,
Right.
right? So I'm not focused on, okay, Mr. Client, we
Yeah.
got to make sure that you lose those 20 pounds.
Right.
No, because at the end of the day, they feel better,
Right.
and they're healthy and they're stronger. They're more likely to do the things they need to do anyway to lose whatever amount of weight they need to lose,
Right.
right? So my job is just to get them to feel better,
Yeah.
right? That way they can keep doing the things they need to do
Right.
to get to the ultimate goal,
Right.
all right? So I'm not focused every day. How much do we weigh today?
Yeah.
I never weigh my clients, right?
Right.
Because again, there's a psychological thing attached to this too,
Yeah.
all right? Some people love the scale.
Yeah.
They weigh me every day,
Yeah.
right? But again, the kind of clients that I've attracted purposefully
Yeah.
are not interested in that,
Right.
right? And again, from building a business strategically,
Right.
which one is more stressful? A client that comes to you every day and be like, I was under my calories or over my calories, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Or a client that comes in and is like, oh, okay, today I feel great. I feel
Yeah.
like my clothes is feeling looser, right? Let's work out. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
That's less stressful to me,
Right.
right? Than somebody that's calling me every single day. Oh my gosh, I ate a bagel. I'm losing my mind.
Going
Losing my
crazy.
mind, right?
I understand
right?
that.
So again, it comes back to how you really want to build your business.
Right.
Right? There's some places you go to, they're all about counting calories, and the people there love it. There's nothing wrong with it, right?
Right.
So it goes back to, again, which kind of client do you want to serve?
Right.
In your case, you love corrective exercises.
Yeah.
I will lose my mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't have, like, I want to say the patience for it,
Yeah.
or the real desire, or I don't really connect to that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've had injuries, but not at that level.
Yeah.
Right? That I want to learn,
How to do it
I mean, like, it's
correctly.
just not my core, it's not
Right.
my zone of genius. Let
Yeah.
me put it that way.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, I understand that because that's how I grew up and how I got into my sports.
Right.
So I understand the emphasis or how I need to emphasize it to hit people to a different level. And because I'm working with more people now who want to transform their bodies in a more muscular way, and I think that fits more men. And So even though
Exactly.
that's not the majority of the demographic in the fitness world,
Right.
but that's what I choose who I want to work
Exactly. And you love that because you can connect with them with sumo lift, right? With your power lifting,
Yup.
which adds a lot of muscle mass to
with.
people.
Psychologically, men
Exact-
like that.
Exactly.
So that's why it
Women, on
works.
the other hand,
Wants weight loss.
want.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been working with a lot of personal trainers, and for me, the men that I train, they have girlfriends, they have wives. I feed them to people like you.
Right,
Like I
there you
don't.
go.
Like I would love to train them if they want to train with me. Sure.
Right.
I'll give them a couple free sessions,
Right.
but I'm gonna ultimately give them away because
Right.
they don't vibe with my.
Correct. Exactly.
World.
Exactly. And that's exactly the same thing here.
Yeah.
Is that, I could get somebody who, just had back surgery and wants to get stronger.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
I
mean
could,
I should work with
Yeah,
them.
yeah. And people, and that's the other thing too. That speaks to what I call scarcity mindset, right? People think they have to keep all the clients, okay? Which is, to me, I don't believe in that,
Yeah.
right? So because the clients, you're not going to keep them long term anyway because you're not
Right.
you're not feeling fulfilled
Yeah.
serving his clients. Every time he comes in and he has to walk in
Doing
his
the
back,
same
I'm
thing.
like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't have as much fun,
Right.
right? But if I send up someone like you, you're like, oh yeah, I love that all
Yeah.
day long, right? You be happy, the client be
Yeah.
happy, you build a greater business, right?
Right.
So these are all principles that
One thing I really like about what we're talking about right now is that we're practicing what we preach.
Right.
What makes you happy is the clientele that you're working with, and the clientele that makes me happy are the clients that I work with.
exactly.
And I
Exactly.
like that we have a personal mission or message that we train our clients with.
Yep.
Versus just, all right, today we're gonna do the X, Y, and Z, push-ups, pull-ups, da-da-da, and then
Right.
get out of here.
Yeah,
Like those kind of places I
It doesn't
cannot
work.
vibe with.
It doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But that's
But
why
they're never happy at the end.
Exactly. It's that you've got to do things that, for example, okay, I was telling someone earlier today, I was a GOAT for 9 years,
Yeah.
okay? I was, I'm 41 now, right? So 9 years ago, I was like, 31 or something like that,
Yeah.
all right? But I am more excited, fired up today,
Yeah.
if that's believable, if you
Yeah.
can believe that or not, than ever before,
Yeah.
right? Even 10 years in the industry, personal training,
Right.
I'm more excited, more fired because now my motivation has even been amped up.
Yeah.
Right. So now what drives me now is even far greater than what drove me 10 years ago.
Right.
Right. Which is another thing people gotta understand is that for you to become an independent, successful trainer, what drives you has to be greater than yourself. At least
Right.
for me,
Facts.
right?
No, same
right?
here.
So
I believe in that.
It's beyond me at this point. It's beyond me just wanting to make money, right?
Yeah.
It's more like making
family.
right? Making a legacy, creating a major impact, right? Giving people an alternative,
Right.
Right. What's really big with me right now is with the explosion of Instagram, anybody can become a personal, like anybody can present themselves as a trainer,
Yeah.
right? But that doesn't mean they know what they're doing,
Right.
Right. But people are following them because they look shredded,
Right.
Right. That doesn't mean their approach is healthy, right?
Right.
So when I see those kind of things, I kind of blame myself in the sense that I'm like, well, the reason why Mr. Joe is following this trainer, even though that trainer is leading them a downward spiral path,
Yeah.
is because they don't have an alternative.
Right.
So if Patrick is over here saying, hey, Mr. Joe, you don't have to do it that way.
Yeah.
Now they have an option.
I see.
Right? So what drives me now is to create something whereby people are like, okay, yes, there's this other trainer here on Instagram, but I've heard of Patrick over here, and his approach is different.
Right.
Let me go check it out.
Yeah,
right? That would not just focus on this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what drives me now is to be at the level whereby people are like, okay, I see options out here, not just what I see on Instagram from that guy
Right.
or that gal. Right? So
Yeah.
that's another motivation of mine, right? So, and then just to disrupt the industry, right?
No, I love that. I love that because I also feel like I'm a disruptor in all the industries that I'm just trying to get myself into.
Yeah, you gotta disrupt the industry. You gotta shake things up.
And that's how I truly believe, and that's how people innovate and how cultures like grow. New
Right.
cultures grow.
Right.
In a world where we're already developed as a country, we need to keep disrupting
Yeah,
the
you have to
culture.
keep- you have to
keep
get better,
growing.
right?
Yeah.
And you'll be, but in what I'm experiencing so far, you'll be amazed, and we talked about this also.
Yeah.
That people, not everybody likes change, or
No.
not everybody really wants to grow, right?
Nope.
So it's amazing to me. Like when I was at the previous company, right? When I would say stuff like, "Oh, I want to make $30,000 a year,"
Yeah.
they look at you like, "What are you trying to do?" I mean,
30,000.
I remember, a month. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
30,000 a month, right? They mentioned $30,000 a month,
Yeah.
right? So I remember vividly there was a training we had,
Yeah.
okay? And this is where you have to understand what your vision is,
Right.
okay? And what kind of dreams you have,
Yeah.
right? I remember they had a training whereby they were trying to teach us how to make our desired income, right?
Oh, I remember
But
that.
yeah, you remember that, right? And then we were in this meeting. I was in this room with all these other trainers,
Yeah.
right? And then they were like, "Okay, we want you to base your goal just on your what's it called? Just on your personal bills right now,
Right.
Right. So if you have utility bill, if you have car bill, whatever,
Yeah.
that's just all you care about. Just that should be your income goal." And I'm
No.
like,
You gotta exceed that.
No, I want to make at least $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And using the formula, it just didn't work,
Right.
right? So I remember asking, what if I want to make 100,000? And the lady just kept ignoring me, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I also remember another conversation I had with one of the executives over there. I was like, okay, this is when I was about to become a manager.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what if I want to make $250,000? They're
That's not
like-
gonna happen
they're
here.
like, even the COO doesn't make $250,000, right? So
Yeah.
again, those are ways you discover if you're in the right environment,
Right.
So if you've outgrown your environment,
Right.
Okay, and that was another impetus. I looked
Right.
around me, and every time I'm like, man, these people are not even thinking at the level
Where
I'm
you're at.
thinking. Where
Yeah.
am I at, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Ty Lopez level, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Grant Cardone level, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking all these kind of levels,
Yeah.
right? People around me, no, they're thinking small, right?
Right.
They're thinking the total budget is 30,000.
They just want to get by.
Just want to get by.
Yeah.
I didn't come to this country to be mediocre, right?
Yeah.
So I can be mediocre anywhere else.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
So you weren't born here.
I was not born yet. No.
Okay, here's one thing that I've learned from all my interviews with most people. It's the people who have either lost their parents, faced a near-death situation, or who are not from this country are the ones who are extremely driven.
Extremely brave. Okay,
Yeah.
there's probably some correlation to that. Right?
Yeah.
Probably some correlation to that, right? But from the beginning, I've always said to myself, okay, my parents sacrificed so much to be in this country, right?
Yeah.
Line of opportunity,
Right.
okay? And my give back to them is mediocrity.
Right.
Unacceptable, right?
Yeah.
And that was the other reason why I didn't go the engineering route.
Yeah.
Right? Because guess what? As an engineer, yes, it sounds good, it's great, there's nothing wrong with an engineer, but still, I'll be an employee.
Right.
I'm not owning anything, right?
Right.
They'll still control my destiny, right?
Right.
So I want to create something in
Yeah.
this line of opportunity where I can be like, we own this.
Yeah.
All those sacrifices were worth it to come to this country.
Right.
Otherwise, I can be an engineer back in my country, right?
Right.
I don't have to be in America to be an engineer.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So, and that's what drives me too, right?
Okay.
And then I look forward. My kid is 4 years old right now.
Yeah.
When he's 18 years old, I don't want to look at him and be like, son, I just worked my whole life behind a desk,
Yeah.
right? And now I just have barely enough to pay for your college tuition, right? We can't do more than this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what I want for him,
Right,
right?
right.
I want to create a blueprint whereby he's like, okay, I too can be a boss,
Right.
right? Because my dad has been a boss,
Right.
or is the boss, right? That's what drives me also.
Okay. Yeah, I often think about that too. One question I always ask a lot of my more driven client or interviewees. So like, I have too many businesses on my mind. Members, clients. No.
Which one is it?
Yeah. What do you want to leave for your? Well, you already have 2 children.
Right.
What do you want to leave if and when, like God forbid, when you pass?
Right. I thought about it the other day, right?
Okay.
I want to be remembered as somebody who always wants to be a winner.
Okay. But what would you want to leave for them specifically? Like your
For
2
them,
sons, yeah.
right?
What would you want to give them as like their last thing to remember you guys?
To not settle.
Okay.
Right? To teach them to not settle and to always, 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 no matter what, pursue the dreams. Okay? To not settle, to not give up.
Yeah.
That if I can transfer that thinking onto them,
Yeah.
then it's a game changer. So no matter what they do,
Yeah.
all right, if you want to be, I don't know, bus driver, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Be the bus driver on earth.
Yeah.
Right? And be the like they're talking about you in Rome. The Pope will be like, oh, look at that bus driver in DC, right?
He's the best bus driver ever.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that's the kind of mindset I want them to have in whatever it is they do. right?
Okay.
To want to be the best at it,
Right.
to strive for whatever their definition of a dream is,
Yeah.
and never give up. So if I can transfer that into them, oh wow. I mean, everything else will fall in place.
So let me ask you something too. This is something that I've always pondered upon myself. Once you reach your goal, say what, $100,000, quarter mil. Say once you reach that and it's sustainable, where you've created an efficient process to keep it continuous with the least amount of work. What are you going to do after that?
Well, but that was not that. That's part of the goal. That's not the goal, though, right? That's a byproduct of the bigger goal,
Right.
Right. So the goal is right to be a disruptor. We talked about that, right?
Oh, so you just want to disrupt and innovate?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
right. So that's
okay,
the
that
main
makes
goal.
sense.
So, but to make that happen,
Right.
the infrastructure has to be set up.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you break it down. Then I have to make a certain income. Right.
Right.
So, but the bigger goal is to disrupt the industry and do things in a way
Yes.
that's never been done before.
Right.
The quarter million, the 1 million is
Yeah.
really a byproduct. That's not the motivating factor.
Right.
Just like when I was a gold,
Yeah.
my goal was not to make $100,000 a year, which I did, but
Right.
that was not the goal. On
Right.
day one, my goal was what? To prove to my wife we're not gonna live in my parents' basement.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in thinking like that, the
Yeah.
100 grand came.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm never focused on the money.
Right.
When I have a client in front of me, I'm not thinking, okay, this client's gonna pay X amount of money, that's for instance. No. I'm thinking about, okay, how do I add value to this person's life?
Right.
So when I think that way, well, the money follows.
Right.
Right? So even though, yes, we all need to make money, I want to make money,
Yeah.
I love to make $250,000.
Right.
It comes because of the bigger picture.
Right. One thing that I say to myself as well, money is just another form of trust. The amount of money that you income or comes to you is the amount of value that
You've added
people
to the
trust
world.
in you.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it was Jim Rohn or someone like that said, how much money you have is in correlation to how many people you've served, that you've helped, right?
Yeah.
The more people you help, right, the more money you make.
Right.
Bottom line, right? So, for example, how come, like, entertainers make a lot of money?
They help people be
exactly,
happy.
thousands of other people
Yeah.
are like me, a trainer, just one person, right?
Yeah.
Why do musicians make more money than doctors? Because the doctor just is one patient.
They affect the
Musician-
world.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
They help more people. So the more people you can help, they can serve,
Yeah.
right? Having that's a bigger vision,
Yeah.
$250,000 will take care of itself.
Right.
All right, so I'm never focused on the money.
Yeah.
I don't really need the money, really.
No.
I just use it as a stepping stone to create to actually the bigger vision.
Yeah.
Right. I don't really need money, really. I mean, I'm a very
So let me ask you things. What are you trying to do to scale too, to get more outreach, or are you trying to reach more people
yes,
that way?
right. And the internet is a great vehicle for that, right? But then
okay.
what I've learned
Yeah.
is that you have to do things in steps.
Right, for sure.
I would love to go from step A to step Z. I've
Yeah.
tried, trust me.
All right, we'll wrap this up. So basically, we've been talking, like, the main audience that I think we are reaching right now is other entrepreneurs or beginning personal trainers, would you say?
No, I think it's that
More.
that trainer, that person that's already a trainer,
Who wants to take it to the next level?
and who's trying to figure out or determine whether or not they're ready for the next level. Okay.
Okay.
And the next level generally is someone who decides, okay, look, I've been working here just like I was for 9 years as a personal trainer in a commercial gym.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make more money. I want more freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to control my own time.
Right.
Okay. I want to dictate my own schedule. Right.
Okay.
More flexibility. Am I ready to do that?
Okay.
Okay. And if so, what are things I need to make sure I can do or have skill set wise so I can be successful at that next level?
Right.
All right. So that's that person that we're talking to right now. Is okay. So you've been doing training for a while. All right. You have a good you've created a decent client base.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what is next? All right. So what I want to do is just kind of like bring this all together. Right?
Yeah. If you were to create like a checklist of the things that a trainer would need to take that next level, what do you think they were?
Exactly. Very simple. So the first thing is you have to master the sales process. Okay.
Okay.
I have a sales system.
Create
that
almost
I've
like a script, a
Right,
sales script.
Exactly, a sales script, right? So that I've created over time. As a matter of fact, there's a sales script that I've used for the last 10 years that's made me over $250,000. The same script. Now, this is the mind of an engineer.
Yeah.
I'm all about processes,
Right.
all right? I like predictability.
Right.
I put in a person through the system, on the other side, it comes out predictably,
Yeah.
the outcome, right? So I have scripts there, right? So they need to have a process of getting clients and retaining clients and converting clients, right? So
Right.
the process is as follows. If you're thinking about going from a commercial gym and becoming an independent trainer,
Yeah.
you have to master processing. I call it attraction. You have to be able to attract the right kind of client, right? So once you attract the right kind of client, we've talked about the processes or the steps
Ideal
you
client.
can take. Yeah, ideal client and how you can convert them from cold to warm or from warm to an actual client, right? We talked about it earlier, right?
Right.
So master prospecting / attraction, right?
Yeah.
And then the next you've got to do after you've tracked him is how do I convert them into an actual client?
Right.
You've got to be able to master that and know your process down. What you say, how you say, very important.
Right.
It's the right way to say it. It's the wrong way to say it. Say it the wrong way, you don't close any deals, right?
Right.
Then we talk about retention. Right, you have to be a master at retaining clients.
Okay.
All right, personally, you want to aim for about 60% retention rate.
Okay.
You don't want a revolving door, otherwise it will be very, very hard for you to create a sustainable business.
Do you actually keep these calculations for yourself?
Yeah.
Like 60%?
Yeah, yes,
Wow.
I do.
I like that. I would love to see that spreadsheet.
I know my numbers. I know exactly where I need to be,
Okay.
right, to get to where I need to go.
I like it.
Right. So that's the retention piece, right?
Yeah.
And then the referral piece. Now, referral, a lot of people make the mistake that thinking, okay, my clients will give me a lot of referrals. Generally speaking,
Not
it doesn't happen
necessarily.
a lot, right? So
Right.
very few. But there are techniques that I have implemented in the past
Yeah.
to elicit some referrals to grow your business organically that way from your existing client base, right?
Okay.
And then the final step is just repeating that process over and over again.
Right.
If you can master those steps, which is something I've mastered over time,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can be successful as a trainer in any environment. That's why I was confident when I left goals that
Yeah.
I can be successful
Anywhere.
anywhere because
Yeah.
I had the skill set,
Right.
right? And then of course, outside of that sales process, right? You have to have what's called emotional intelligence,
Right.
You have to understand the psychology
Of business.
right? Not just of business, of working with people.
Right.
All right, there's a lot that goes into that, right? So we can spend a whole day talking about it, right?
Right.
So how to work with people, and that influences your retention rate.
Okay.
Okay, so when you master those aspects,
Yeah.
your ability to get clients, keep clients, grow your business grows tremendously.
Right.
All right. So if there's anybody listening out there who's already a trainer, wants to go to the next level, master those things, and you'll be fine. All right.
Okay. Let me see if I can summarize it in my point of view. I know because we think differently.
Right.
Well, I want to see if this relates to you at all.
Right.
So the things that I've been working on when I do business consulting, I create some type of funnel where you have a lot of people, like how you're saying, you attract how attractive you are
Right.
as a business owner or
Right.
business servicer. Build some type of funnel where you have a lot of attention. People come to you and they basically give you your information. Find a way to
Right,
get your
right.
information through a funnel,
Uh-huh.
and then create a closing script.
Right.
There's a line I forgot from where it was. I probably heard it from like Wolf of Wall Street, to be honest. And it's ABC, and it's always be closing.
It's fun. I
Yeah.
heard that the other day.
See?
Always be closing. Yes. Always be closing.
Glenn Gary Ross.
Always be closing. Yeah. Did I see it on Instagram recently? or-
ABC.
Always be closing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always be closing. I remember that. I was like, yeah. Always be closing.
So there you go. So first step is create a funnel. Second step, ABC, always be closing. Create a closing script. 3,
I remember where I saw it now.
design and redesign your product to always make it innovate, because you create something that's super
They have to
addictive.
have, right.
Yeah, you need something that's very addictive that will last a lifetime. One thing I like to talk about is evergreen content.
Right.
And for me in personal life, it's housing, food, transportation, and taxes and insurance. Those are the things.
And health.
Yes, but health and insurance, that's where I kind of lump
Right,
it all together,
right,
because
okay.
you can't really lump them, or you can't really sell a certain thing. But when you have insurance, it's reassuring you of your health or your taxes or something of that sort. Housing, disaster, any type of ill-natured substance, and then repeat. So funnel, sales, because we're both in the health industry, so I understand where you're coming from, where
Right.
it can get very specific. and that's where I just lump them together. When
Right.
it comes
That's
to
fine.
insurance.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, but what you described is exactly what I have, a funnel.
Right.
It's just a funnel. A funnel, by definition, is how you take a potential group of people, right, sort them out,
Right.
and get the one you want.
Right.
And at the end of this day, you're making money.
Right.
And then, speaking of evergreen, evergreen means something that's always in style, so to speak, right?
Right.
So the niche I've chosen is evergreen, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that everyday people still want to lose weight, right? so
Yeah.
so that goes back to strategy when you're prospecting, right?
It's culture,
So,
American culture.
Right. So again, going back to so using evergreen, right? So an athlete, right? An athlete over time is not gonna lose the battle with Father Time.
For
right?
sure.
You're not gonna be an athlete forever.
Nope.
Right? But guess what? You're overweight. You always want to be healthy.
Right.
Right? So that's always going to be evergreen. People are going to always need that information. So I don't have to necessarily recreate that thing all the time. Right?
Okay.
So the funnel. So we're saying exactly the same thing in different ways. Right? So you get a bunch of people through a process. You sort them out. Shake out the one you want.
Yeah.
You got a product at the end that they're addicted to. Right? In this case, it's me creating an addictive experience.
Right.
Right? They're like, we got to have more Patrick. He's my
Right.
cocaine, right?
Right.
See what I'm saying? And that's how you keep them to stay around for 60% of the time.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, the only thing I'm like, I don't really want to disagree, but I disagree in the health aspect, because when you think of happiness and health, don't necessarily they correlate, but they're not necessarily
The same thing.
the same thing.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But guess what? You'll be really unhappy if you're 700 pounds in bed, you can barely move, right? And you're about to have congenital heart failure.
Right.
Right.
No, I mean-
so you're right that there's separate things.
There's different
right, but there's a
definitions
correlation, right?
of health.
Right.
Because when you think of the extreme, it's like, oh, I eat apple, piece of meat, protein, the FDA approved
right,
guidelines.
right.
Like, and from what I heard, I work with a toxicologist. The FDA is based on a 1965 standard.
Yeah, they're way behind.
Today is 2019.
They're way behind.
Exactly.
They were behind. Well, from a health standpoint, I deal with facts, right?
Right.
I look at, this person, again, from a processing standpoint, I look at this person will need to see me because guess what? They've been to the doctor. Doctor's like, your A1C is high.
Right.
You're about to become diabetic, right? Your blood pressure is not where it needs to be. We're going to put you on blood pressure medication, right? So at that point, right, they're not happy, right? So I deal in those kind of situations. So from a prospecting standpoint, those people are more motivated to want to seek out the help of a personal trainer.
Right.
Okay. So again, at the end of the day, you look at what you want to attract. That's why I said the first step is attraction, right? And you talk about evergreen. Well, those kind of people, they're evergreen because that's why the big pharma is around, right? They keep feeding them pills, right?
Pharmaceuticals.
You know what I mean? That's why they've been around for a long time, right?
That's
You know,
true.
because they keep feeding them pills, right?
Yeah.
To take care of the high blood pressure.
And then
right?
they can charge
you more. Obviously, charge you more, right? So, but then I'm like, look, Mr. Jones, do you really like the side effects of the blood pressure medicine? Is that what you want for the rest of your life? Right? Most people, the answer is no, right? So, and when you have the right conversation with them, they're more likely to be like, you know what? I want to get rid of those blood pressure medicine. I want to get rid of the cholesterol medicine, the pills. I want to get rid of all that stuff.
You're really good at empathy. You know how to put your feet in other people's shoes.
Right. Thank you. That's and that's another skill that people got to learn, right?
Yeah.
So like, and you have to be, you have to be able to interact with people from diverse backgrounds, right? With diverse personalities, right? And what's interesting is that even though I attract a certain clientele with a certain goal, right? Not all of them get along. Right. So like recently one of my clients said to me, man, that guy over there, right? I mean, and the other guy was my client, right? They don't necessarily get along, but I get along with all of them, right? You know what I'm saying?
So you're their leader.
Exactly. So like your ability to connect with people, empathize with people, right? Meet them where they are, all right, is key to being able to.
Could you imagine a group where everyone had good synergy and just worked well together?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible, right? You're always going to have outliers, but it's very possible.
Right.
If you choose it right. Because that's, again, that's another thing I think about too. When I'm bringing on a client,
Yeah.
all right,
Do they fit in the tribe?
do that exactly.
I'm very big in tribalism.
Exactly. All right. I'm thinking about my other clients.
Okay.
Is this somebody that I want them to associate with?
Yeah.
Right. Would they get along?
Right.
Do they have same? They don't necessarily have to have the exact kind of thinking, but is the way they think going to jive?
Right.
Right. So if I have a get together, they'll all be able to like hang out, as opposed to what? Stay away from me. What? Right. So these are all things that plays into prospecting also. Right.
Okay.
So because you don't want. So for example, when new clients come in, I'm like, hey, Brian, have you met Robbie over here? Oh, yeah, hey, what's going on? And then that also helps with your retention. People don't understand that's another secret right there.
Yeah.
Right? Is that people, when I was a ghost, people never understood why.
They never understand the low barrier of entry of creating friendships.
Exactly.
That's a big thing.
Or
of
they
retention.
never understood why I knew everybody's name.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
yeah, Patrick knows everybody's name. Why? Right? Because guess what? And people... Oh, my God, go. People, the psychology of this is so, they don't get it.
Yeah.
So, for example, like the trainers never understood that when a new person comes in, when I get a new client, right, I'm already thinking 3 months, 6 months down the line. Right? What does that mean? I'm thinking, okay, how can I get this person to stick around?
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to get sick. What would drive them will have to go beyond just going to see Patrick, right? But if I can connect them to Brian, even though Brian is not my client, hey, Miss Smith, have you met Brian? Oh, Brian's another trainer. He's fantastic. Oh, have you met Robbie over here? He's the front desk guy. If you ever need anything and Patrick's not around, you go meet Robbie, right? Oh, have you ever met Jason? Jason is the instructor over there.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, they go to the gym, they meet not just Patrick, they know you, they don't feel alone anymore, right?
Yeah.
That increases retention rate. That's another tip right there.
Yeah,
right?
and one thing I want to add to that, I've gotten this from like one of the goats of books, is the How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay, yeah. What's his name? Andrew Carnegie.
Yeah.
Okay, I have that book.
He says the most endearing thing you could ever say to a person is
The
their
person's name. It's funny you should mention that because that's where I got it from.
That's why I knew that.
I really knew that. Years ago, I'll tell this story real quick.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was in college, University of Maryland. We're talking like over 19 years ago now, right? And I got this book, How to Make Friends and Influence People. I never really read the entire book.
Yeah.
But I read the chapter where it talks about, I think it was 10 things, right? On how you get to build friends, right? And one of them is remember people's name, smile, and talk to people in terms of their own interest.
Yes.
The other stuff I forgot. But those 3 things has served me really well.
That's honestly my biggest thing I think I took away from that book as
Right.
well.
Smile, right? So you never see Patrick down.
Yeah.
Right? Remember people's names. I always like to mention their names.
Yeah.
And 3, talk to them in terms of their own
interests, yeah.
Right? People love to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Master those 3 things, you'll be good.
Because it's also something they're most comfortable with because they're
Yeah,
themselves.
it's about themselves, right? Think about how many people will have more boyfriends or girlfriends if they knew those rules, right? You go on a date. Right? We're giving dating tips. Do you want to? Are you out there? Are you still single right now? Are you having a difficult time closing the deal whenever you go on a date? Right? Here are 3 things you can master. Right? When you go on a date, please remember your date's name. Right? Hey, John. Hey, Chrissy. How you doing tonight? All right, doing okay? Everything all right? Okay. Keep mentioning the names, right? So what do you do for a living? What do you enjoy doing? You like music, stuff like that? Tell me more about yourself, right? And keep smiling, right? You're more likely to end up with a boyfriend or girlfriend if you do things that way.
All right.
It worked for me. I'm married, right? Happily married 8 years, okay? Going on strong, right? So... Going on 9 years, I'm sorry. Good memory. My wife forgive me, right?
Before we get to any more tangents, I wanna wrap up on this.
Right.
If you had a billboard that was seen by everyone, like anywhere, everywhere, that was specifically made by you, what would you want it to say?
Wow.
If like imagine 495 or 95. If people have to drive on that road every day, what would you want a billboard to say to remind them of something?
Wow. That's a deep one. That's a deep one. Okay.
Hit you hard.
Okay, here we go. This is what I would say.
All right.
What, does it pertain to fitness or anything I want?
Anything you want.
Okay.
You got a lot of gems in you.
Okay.
I know that.
You can always do better.
You can always do better.
You can always do better.
Okay, I'll give you a twofer. What do you think for specifically for fitness? If you had a two.
For two,
Yeah.
do you want better results?
Visit bodybypatrick.com.
Because you can always do better. You can always get better results, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want better result in less time?
Okay.
Okay, that's another one.
That's some good copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's copywriting.
Want better result in less time.
Okay.
Right? Because you could have better results per 3 hours.
Yeah.
But if you can get in 30 minutes, that's another approach, right? So
Okay.
save people time and get better results. So that's what I would say.
Nice.
Better result in less time.
All right. Is there anything else going on in your world that we should like shout out? Anything in the future?
I mean, look at his
Hot wings.
I mean, business-wise, right now, I'm just focused on building my current existing client base. That's my primary focus right now.
Okay.
Right? In terms of ventures down the line that I want to get into is, teaching, coaching other trainers like myself who are in my situation, how to be successful as an independent trainer, right? Because everything we talked about today, we threw a lot of value in there. However, there are certain ways you've got to put everything together. It's like you're making some kind of food, right?
Yeah.
You have the ingredients, but there's a certain way you've got to combine them to yield the delicious, tasty food that you want to eat at the end, right? So that's what my next thing is that I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
All right, so that's already in the works, in the plans, right?
Right.
So, and other than that, just staying focused, focusing on family. That's always my number one priority. Anytime I spend away from them, I make sure it's time that's well spent. That's not wasted,
okay.
right? So
I respect that.
yeah, so so everything goes through a prism, right?
Okay.
I have a prism, a checklist of things that go to my mind before I get into even any venture, right?
Okay.
A checklist, so to speak. Does it check this? Does it check this? Does it check this? If it violates any of those rules, I don't get into it, right? So that's another tip for anyone listening out there is before you get into a venture, just don't get into venture because you just want to do whatever, right?
Yeah.
Have a filter,
Right.
right, that you filter them through. It's like, for example, I'll give an example because they might want to know. If someone comes to me right now and say, hey, Patrick, I have this opportunity for you in Timbuktu, right?
Yeah.
You can make $1 million a day.
Yeah.
But you have to travel 300 days out of the year.
Yeah.
I would say no. Why? Because it does not pass my filter, right? I'm a big family guy. I love being around my family. And
Right.
traveling around 300 days out of the year is now something I want to do, regardless of the money, right? So you got to have these kind of filters. So that helps me make decisions quickly.
Right.
So that's another tip I want to give people, right? So, but other than that, I'm cool for now. I'm focused on what I'm trying to do. Make this venture number one, right? That's my job. Be a number one presence in this industry as an independent trainer.
Yeah.
Right. Offline and then online.
Okay.
Later on.
All right, so check it out. Check it 1, 2, 3. We want to help Patrick reach his goals. So if you want to look for a fun place or the fun experience that's one of a kind, come check out bodybypatrick.com. Result-focused personal training.
That's right. Result-focused personal training.
So appreciate your time, Pat.
All right, man. You got it. Anytime, my friend. Later on, we'll do another catch-up and see where I'm at.
For sure. Again and again.